Ну, я покаялся в 1977 году. Мне тогда было 18 лет. Я тогда жил
I became
в
Christian in
Севастополе, тогда был СССР.
1977. I was 18 years old,
Молодежь,
and I
которая
lived in Sevastopol, in the Soviet Union, in
христиане,
Ukraine.
они приехали к нам в
Before,
Севастополь.
all the churches
Так
were
как моя мама
underground,
была
they were
верующая, и
home group
старшая
churches,
сестра,
and
я с ними
leadership and
познакомился,
pastoral
и
gifts
они меня
were not
пригласили здесь на
developed. We could
Когда я
have one
приехал к
pastor
ним,
for
я
10-20 churches.
просто пережил
We
встречу
were
с
really
Богом.
passionate about
Насколько Бог
God,
сильно
in
затронул.
spite of all the
И
difficulties
это
and
сразу
challenges
послужило и
and
моим призывом.
persecution.
В
When we
течение
were being
года я
involved in
переехал
leadership,
здесь, на
we
Кубань,
knew
так и здесь
what the
остался.
price could be,
В то время
but
были
we were not
церкви,
threatened by that because we really felt that God was near. During these years, we see about 40 churches planted in different towns and villages around.
I've been saved in 1991, and I became a pastor in 1993 because so many people were saved in Russia. You know, in the beginning of 90s, it was like a revival. So many people came to the Lord. And later, I became an overseer because we planted some churches in our region. But what I see, it's great need in Russia in mentors.
Pastor Evgeny is one of the new emerging leaders here in Russia, a new breed of leaders, ones that are interested in mentoring and are seeking to develop the younger generation of leaders.
In the beginning of 90s, we saw how God can create the great thirsty to God, you know. But we see churches were not ready to receive people. And I believe now it's a time of preparation. It's a transition time from young churches and not mature leaders to maturity to mature leadership. To help young leaders and young people prepare themselves to be leaders for their generation. But churches should be ready to receive people. And for that, we need new many leaders, mature leaders. Every month I have a trip. It's about 1,500 kilometers every time. I take my car and I go to all our churches. You know, I visit, encourage them. I ask the people what is the situation in your church. I train them, and I need materials and understanding how better develop pastors and missionaries and leaders, because I have some experience, yes, but your material and your seminar, it's very useful and helpful for me. I had some ideas but not teaching, you know.
20 years ago when the Soviet Union collapsed, there was a need for just basic training of how to live the Christian life and how to grow as a Christian. That was all very important. But one thing that was lacking was leadership training. And now 20 years later, almost another generation, there's a real need for this type of training so that they can grow and also help the next generation grow.
During the communist regime, of course, we couldn't think and dream of any Christian education. So for about 20 years now, we see freedom has come to Russia. Of course, we're really thankful to God for ICM, for their input. They're helping us a lot in developing our leadership team, as we do believe the scriptures that the fields are white and the workers are few, but quite often we're lack of knowledge and equipping teaching materials as well for that. So having the materials of ICM, we are happy that it's not just kind of theory which was presented to us through books, but it's also important that it was done relationally, so we know the people who've been doing that, and we can really imply that in practice and see it working. So we're really thankful to you that you are coming and making us fruitful in our work, and I believe you'll be blessed by the developing God's kingdom here.
Coming alongside of and coaching church ministry leaders and their teams is really an important part of what we do in ICM. Many of these leaders are so in need of some basic training so that they can be equipped, and so we come along and coach them and really help them with some of the basics of church growth and how they can minister not only within their own church, but of course within this region.
Я являюсь одним из лидеров на Северном Кавказе, один из пастырей, и
One of the
эти несколько дней
elders
мы
from
провели,
one of the churches in the North
объезжая
Caucasus.
церкви, и семинары и
These few
тренинги
days
для
we spent with the
лидеров
ICM team
Это время было
doing
очень
seminars
полезным
for
для
the leaders
церкви,
of the
и я
churches.
думаю, что
I find this time very helpful,
подчеркнуло для себя
and
очень много
each
важного.
church, I believe, also has got something very vital and important for their ministry, and I believe it will be useful for the churches to have that kind of seminars and meetings to analyze what's going on in the church, for churches really grow in their fruitfulness, for their purposes to become more
Для
clear,
развития Евангелия
not just
на
for
Кавказе и по всему нашему
the
региону.
leaders, but for the people at the church and for the whole region.
Мы проводим семейные семинары в нашей церкви в Армавире, откуда мы родом.
We are doing
а
marriage
также используем
seminars
эти материалы для
at
нашей
our
семейной
church in
церкви.
Armavir, and also using these materials for our family of churches. What we are doing, we come and spend time with the couples, organize kind of discussions and make them work together on certain questions, and sometimes we raise issues which the husbands and wives didn't even discuss before. We are using the materials of ICM. We've noticed that the result of our ministry was the changing lives of the parents and of the families and married couples. We're also preparing young people during their engagement time. New young people are coming to us and to other couples now, which we've prepared, and they're really enjoying that.
Leadership training, it's one of big needs here, and actually it's both in society and in the churches. 15 years ago, as I said, many people here thought that what is important, that ministers will know Bible, will know theology, and this is what will help to grow the churches. It's good foundation, but it's important that they will know how to deal with people, how to introduce change, how to mentor people, and this is all the issues of leadership which are sometimes not very well covered in standard programs of training, and I believe that it's crucial for future of Russian churches.
Thank you for all your prayers, for your encouragement, for your investment, and we thank you for Phil, for Carl, and for all your team. Big thank you.
We've been doing training here in Russia and parts of Eastern Europe for many years now. I just want to thank you for your partnership, standing with us, enabling us to equip these leaders so they can reach another generation.